Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Raghav Jagannathan. Welcome to our webinar here. Summarize, draft, and query right inside iManage Work, both server and cloud, using our AI agent KLapper. Once again, my name is Raghav. I've been working with AI since almost 8 years now. A speaker at a number of different conferences, around 63 conferences in my lifetime. I also was a featured speaker at the ILTA SharePoint Copilot Symposium last month in Chicago. I also contribute a fair bit to the ILTA cause, contributing articles, blogs, and some of these QR codes. If you scan them, you'll be able to kind of read up on some of my thought leadership articles on iltanet.org. I'm also the founder and CEO of KLST. We are a global software and services company based out of New Jersey. We work with around 32 AM law firms, around 23 mid-sized firms, and around 6 general counsels of Fortune 100 companies. Primarily focus on helping these firms realize the potential of SharePoint, as well as with Microsoft Copilot consulting services as well. As part of my software business, Cobot, we have 3 key products. KLapper, which is why we're here today, to look at our private AI platform and how it can surface within iManage. But beyond that, we also have our NetDoctor and iMDoctor products. We've done several webinars on that helps you integrate net documents and iManage DMS with Microsoft 365. Before we get started with our presentation, I want to make sure that we get a little bit of a pulse on with the audience in terms of how you guys use iManage, if you're using any AI within iManage today. If you can please answer these 2 poll questions that are going to open up around 1 or 3 poll questions. If you can please answer them, it'll help us understand just a profile of your current implementation of AI within iManage. While you do that, let me quickly introduce our product KLapper. We are the world's first private AI platform. This platform is basically designed to deploy within your firm's Azure tenant. So you're not subscribing to a platform in a way that we provision an instance of KLapper for you in our cloud. This entire software deploys within your private Azure tenant, so it becomes part of your Microsoft 365 ecosystem. And it's basically treated as a private software because we as a vendor have zero access to whatever KLapper learns as part of its connectors. So we have connectors into iManage, into NetDocuments, into SharePoint, into multiple SQL-based database applications or Microsoft Data Lake, like Fabric-based data applications, as well as into web APIs and so on. So we have many different connectors that can connect to all these different sources, including network shares, and can learn data where the data lives. And because it's a private AI platform, it basically stores all that information securely within your tenant, with zero access whatsoever to anybody, a third party, including us as a vendor. Secure AI also means that it's not only learning as it's learning the data in those different platforms, it's also learning the security around the data. So and when I say talk about security, it's also talk about both ACL, access control lists, and ethical walls. It's understanding, as I show you a demo, it understands not just the content within the documents, the metadata around the document, but it also understands the security of the document. So you can access something that you're not supposed to access, both from a walls perspective and ACL perspective. And last but not the least, because it's an agent builder platform, you can build many different agents with our platform. One such agent is the iManage Work Web agent that I'll be showing you a brief demo on, how you can surface this agent right within Work Web and work within Work Web without leaving the platform, without the need for you to download these documents from iManage and upload into a third-party AI platform. You can simply work in iManage and have this agent power your daily work, understanding the content that lives in iManage without any downloading and uploading whatsoever. And the best part about KLapper really is its pricing. KLapper pricing starts at just $10 per user per month. So we are 1/3 of the cost of Copilot and many factors less compared to some other leading AI platforms in the market. who do not offer a private AI platform. Outside of the today's focus, which is our iManage Work web integration, which we're going to discuss in great detail in the next 20 minutes or so, our platform is designed to also execute or semi-automate business processes. So KLapper also ships with an agentic workflow builder. We call it skill builder. And what it lets you do is to design skills very similar to a Power Automate style workflow from Microsoft, where you can design an agentic skill to perform tasks on your behalf. So we have many customers using this side of KLapper. If you're interested in that side, to look at business process automation, especially when it comes to the new matter intake or even like a new attorney new associate onboarding process, or any of those, or even the timesheet example that you see on the screen, where it can automatically scan your calendar and do time entry on behalf of the attorney. If any of these use cases resonates with you, I'll leave my contact details at the end of the webinar. Please scan that and we can do a one-on-one presentation to you on the agentic side of KLapper. But today's focus is all around iManage. Let's understand why KLapper for iManage. So as I said before, KLapper is an agentic AI platform. It's agentic builder, an agent builder platform. It's designed for creating agents. These agents can live anywhere. It can live in iManage, like today's demo. It can live in SharePoint. It can live in any web application of your choice. It can live in Microsoft Teams, of course, and many other platforms, including your Windows OS. But why did we design KLapper for the agent support within iManage? The reason being that most of our customers that we work with are iManage customers, and they've been asking for this over the last 12 months or so that we launched KLapper. They wanted to kind of work within iManage. They didn't want to download documents from iManage just to upload it. They didn't want to rely on some sort of third-party connector to basically, and not knowing where these documents are being stored temporarily or if these documents are being used to train other models. Especially when it comes to client confidentiality, the documents that are client-related or when the client mandates that you can use these documents, contracts for in a generative AI context, this becomes even more important because KLapper as a private platform is part of your Microsoft 365 stack. So it's no different than your email or your Microsoft SharePoint platform, which means that because it's a private platform, I'm not a lawyer, but technically you should be allowed to train the KLapper agent with your client documents because it's right within your firm. So now that we are surfacing this agent within iManage Work, now users can perform all these different things, basically asking natural language questions, which I'll show you a demo of, and get intelligent answers based on context. So for the iManage, for the KLapper agent for iManage, context matters. So it automatically defaults to the context you're in. So if you're at the matters level, it'll switch across workspaces. If you're within a workspace, it'll only search across that workspace. So the context where you access the agent matters. And very important is as you interact with this agent, permissions matter, walls matter. So you'll see that during my demo, you would see that the agent understands who I am and automatically only presents content that I'm supposed to access. We also thought through what if it yields like let's say it summarizes a 400-page document. Obviously, citations are very important. So this agent also does citations so that you can simply click on it and open the document in preview mode and interact with it. So not only you get an agent within iManage, you also get an agent within the preview window in iManage. And we'll see an example of that when I actually show you a couple of examples. And just not to read from the slide here, we will be sharing the slide with you after the presentation by email. But basically, all these different things that you can do. You can also generate summaries, insights. You can create documents. If time permits, I'll show you how you can create documents based on templates and boilerplates right within iManage. And not just one document, one template. You can create multiple documents with multiple templates and multiple boilerplates. We have customers who have 3 templates and 10 boilerplates, basically completely automating the creation of 30 plus instances, 3 times 10, 3 templates, 10 boilerplates, 30 documents being created in bulk within minutes, right within iManage, all nicely merged and formatted. And last but not the least, really an effective way to do semantic search, basically the ability to do English language search, not just plugging in numbers, matter numbers and stuff, just asking a question like, do we have an NDA for this client Contoso, and it returning back the result. Simple English language search. Okay. So last but not the least, as I said, this is AI embedded in iManage, not layered on top, right? So let's have a look at our KLapper agent in action, and we'll go back and revisit security once I show you a brief demo. And I see a lot of questions being posted on the chat. So we will answer these questions right towards the end of this webinar. Okay. So a couple of things to note here as I kind of browse into iManage work here. You would see that I'm right in the context of a workspace right now, and I can navigate into this workspace as I see fit, or I can go up to the workspace level. But what's more important is that you would see that right within my action panel here, I have the property security tabs, and also I have this new tab called AI agent. This AI agent is completely contextual. So if I go to the documents for kind of navigation here, or the emails or the folders or clients or matters, this AI agent scope will change automatically depending on where you access it. Because the context, as most of you know in generative AI, context matters. So the narrower the context, the better the result. So we make sure that when you access an agent in the context of workspace, the context is the workspace. So any question that you ask in the context of the workspace, you're going to get results constrained to the workspace, not iManage wide. But if you want to ask a question iManage wide, you simply change the scope to recent matters or to documents or any one of those tabs here that will make the context more broader, not specific to the workspace. So let's interact with this first. Let's ask a question. I know that deeply embedded within this folder structure, if I show you for a second, many folders and subfolders. You can see I have several hundreds of folders and subfolders within this workspace. Now I'm looking for a needle in a haystack. I'm looking for a question that says, who are the 2 major competitors for our client, Northwind Traders? I'm just looking for that in, as I said, a needle in a haystack. I have over 30,000 documents in this workspace and hundreds of folders and subfolders. So you can see that KLapper agent gets into action. And by the way, these agents are model agnostic. So behind the scenes, as I said before, we have KLapper Builder, our agent builder platform powering this agent. And with our builder platform, you have the, and if time permits, I'll show you later, with the builder platform, you have the ability to influence, train, optimize, and even select the model that you would use. And a key takeaway here is that the model itself is private. And this is huge because you're not using some public model from Anthropic, on anthropic.com, like Cloud.ai, or you're not using ChatGPT, like GPT, or from OpenAI. These are private models. These are living within your Azure tenant. This is huge, because you're basically using the Azure-based instance of that LLM. So in this case, it's using OpenAI, Azure OpenAI, the 5.x model, and specifically 5.2 model in this specific demo. You can easily up it to the latest model, which I believe is 5.4, or you can change your model to the KLapper Builder to Claude Opus model, which is one of the best models in the market right now. So depending on the type of processing this agent needs to do, you can appropriately select the model. So that's done behind the scenes, but on the front-end perspective, the attorney doesn't care. The attorney just lives in iManage. So I just asked the question here, which is, tell me more about to competitors, and it immediately gives me an answer. So let's go one level deeper into the agreements folder, and let's see. Let's ask. You can see the context now changed for this. The context now becomes basically the context now is the current folder I'm in, and this matters, by the way, and that's one of the reasons why our early adopters of this product are now telling us that, look, we are getting more accurate results compared to some of the other options in the industry out there. Because context matters. Like if you have a broader context, your answers are going to be full of errors, hallucination as they call it. So some example here, because this agent is also using a private LLM, but it's also that LLM is trained on data from the internet. With our KLapper builder behind the scenes, you can also turn off that connectivity. So you can turn off the agent's ability to answer questions on the internet, so that it only answers the question from this specific data source, or in this example, specifically from this specific folder for that matter. So let's say I'm looking for some agreements, let's say trademark agreements that I'm looking for. I can simply ask it, find me all the trademark agreements for a specific client, or in this case, I'm just simply asking it, find me all the trademark agreements out there within this folder. Obviously, it's a broader search that I'm doing here. It'll get into work. I have close to almost 8,000 plus documents in this folder, in this specific subfolder, with many subfolders inside it. So the agent gets into work, and we're gonna come back and check on it when it comes back with some results, because it's gonna find all sorts of documents for me, and it gives me the examples and citations. While it's thinking through it, we're just gonna keep moving. Okay, so one of the things I want to show you is as this agent comes back with the results here, you'll see that it returns back some lease agreements for me, some like landlord kind of lease agreements, and we'll show you, if time permits, how you can extract out from that document summary some key action items and deadlines and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go back to our agent here within this agreements folder, and ask a specific question by using the word lease agreement, because I know that I have a few kind of leasee lessor kind of lease agreements within this location, right? So I can simply ask it to identify any action items and responsibilities mentioned in the lease agreement. And KLapper gets into action. There might be a number of different lease agreements in this location, but what it's going to do is, again, good prompt yields good results. It's going to get into action, and it's going to come back to me summarizing all those action items, deadlines, responsibilities mentioned in that specific agreement. What's more important to note here while we're waiting for the other query, you can see here it came back with a number of different relevant documents that are important for me to consider. The one I'm really after is my you can see here a number of documents. I can simply click on these document links, they're citations, and they simply open up in the preview mode of iManage Work Web. And now I can review this document. Now in this case, it's not a very big document, it's only 22 pages long. But notice how, if this, let's say this was a lease agreement or any kind of agreement that were 100 pages, 200 pages, 300 pages long. So you now have the ability to interact with that agent, interact with the document using the agent itself. So the agent surfaces not just within the workspace, it also surfaces within the context of the document as well. So I can ask it all sorts of questions here, for example, and the context is the document, which is very important to know. So I can simply ask it to summarize the sales forecast. Something like that, right? So I can basically now interact with the document. So reading the 22-page document up and down, the agent will summarize it for me. And because it's built on the Azure OpenAI 5.x thinking model, it actually thinks through my queries as well. So it's basically thinking through my question, understands the document, and basically will formulate an answer. While we're waiting for it, you can see here, I was able to kind of get some answer to my other question as well. All right. So, so basically, what we've seen so far is how contextual intelligence the KLapper add-in is able to provide to the attorney working within iManage. So depending on where you are, either you're in a workspace or within a folder or a subfolder, it understands the context you're living in and answers questions. But you could also be in a broader context, like at a document level or an email level or folder level, and execute a semantic search. You can ask questions like, okay, so find me an NDA for this specific client, or ask a generic question, and those queries can take a little bit longer to execute, but you would get the result. So let's connect the dots a little bit. Let's go back to our PowerPoint and let's connect the dots. So how is KLapper able to do all this? So the KLapper agent that you are seeing in action was built by our KLapper Builder platform. Our Builder platform, which I'll show you in a second, basically lets you create agents. These agents are connected agents because they are private. It's a private AI platform. These agents by design are private. They can connect to your internal private data sources, including iManage Cloud or iManage Work Server, as well as network shares and frankly, any data source that supports a SQL backend or an API backend. And when it connects to those data sources, it learns the data, where the data lives, stores in a secure RAG that also lives within your Azure tenant, and uses your private LLM to basically formulate the results and present it to the user. But behind the scenes, it also understands all the security around this data. It also understands the permissions, the ACL, the walls, as I said before. And we integrate with the iManage Security Policy Manager, SPM. So if you define walls around the data, you can be assured that you're not going to see that result if you're not part of that policy, or if you're explicitly denied the policy to see the document or the group of documents. And one of the things that I forgot to mention is also the fact that KLapper agent can not only learn the data inside the document, OCR or non-OCR, by the way. So it can learn scan documents that are non-OCR as well. But it also learns the metadata around the document. Like, for example, I could easily show you a quick demo where it can do queries. Or you can ask it questions like, okay, find me a document authored by this person and handled by this person for this client and matter numbers. So you can be very specific with your prompt. It'll find you that information you're looking for. So before I show you a brief preview of our KLapper Builder UI, we're going to open up a couple of poll questions. I know there's a lot of questions being posted in the chat here. I'll take this on in a minute. But please do respond to those couple of poll questions that we're going to open up right now. I just want to kind of, before I move on to our Builder demo, how this agent is being built and how it's being trained, I just want to share this quote out to all the attendees here. We are really grateful to Mike Kolb, who's the Chief Operations Officer of Dickinson Wright. It's a major AM law firm based in Michigan, AM law ranked firm, and they have really good things to say about our agent that they designed with KLapper, and they've deployed it within the intranet. And we're also using a number of different, we are using the KLapper platform to build a number of different business workflow use cases, like possibly the NMI workflow process, new matter intake process, and so on, using an agentic workflow capabilities in KLapper. Again, if you're interested in that, we'll show you a demo later as a one-on-one session. So let me show you the back end of how this actually works. How KLapper is doing all this work, kind of the agent building part. So for that, we go to the builder part of the KLapper platform. And behind the scenes, you would see that the platform itself ships with a no-code or low-code builder capability where a non-technical person can potentially build an agent. So when you go to a platform, when you add an agent, you would automatically, you're basically creating remember, this is a private agent. It gets created within your Azure Foundry portal as part of the KLapper framework. And you have the ability to pick and choose a model that you want to use to create this agent. And you can see the robustness of the agent, the LLMs that you can use to do this. We do support GPT, ChatGPT, and Google Gemini. But please do note that when you create an agent and want to surface that in iManage, if you use a third-party agent, kind of LLM outside of your Azure tenant, then your prompt and your context will be shared with that third party. like Gemini, for example. It's an awesome model they have, Gemini Flash and the new models. But unfortunately, you would be sharing your context information, including your document context, with that third-party LLM. So we recommend staying within the context of your Azure LLMs, which is all the different models that Azure currently supports, including the latest 5.4 model, or the Claude Opus model, including the latest 4.6, which is very, very powerful. So once you build the agent, you can simply build the agent with the data that you have, training it from data from iManage and so on. But more importantly, you can basically point it to your own custom MCP. So we all know that iManage is working on this awesome MCP interface. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, and it basically gives you a black box that you can simply use to get a better context. So the idea is that you can say basically ask a question like how I asked before to the agent right here, and was able to find all this information for me. The reason why I was able to do that is it took my user prompt, the prompt that I shared through the agent within iManage Work Web, and it basically asked the MCP server to find relevant information for me within iManage, within this context for that matter, for this agreements folder context. And that's how it's able to the MCP server returns back the search results. The agent basically takes the user prompt plus the search results, sends it to the Azure LLM, the private AI, the private LLM that you have, and the answers comes back. And that's at a very high level, kind of a non-technical level, how that works, right? So the MCP server plays a key role here. So as more and more vendors offer MCP for their platforms, KLapper agent can be trained on that. Our software automatically ships. We have our own iManage MCP server we wrote because we just couldn't wait for iManage to release it. Our customers wanted this today. So we wrote an iManage MCP server that does all of the above I explained before. But we also have MCP servers for SharePoint. We also have weather MCP servers. Today we're launching our file share MCP server as well. So you can let this MCP server go basically learn off and search on your file shares and network file shares. And once you build this agent powered by either content that you upload to the agent or through MCP server, you can simply deploy that agent to a number of different platforms. And that's how we were able to deploy that agent to the iManage platform, to maybe a platform of your choice. So the idea is with KLapper is to build an agent once and use it in your platform of choice, including Microsoft Word, Microsoft Outlook, iManage, why we're here today, SharePoint, and a few other platforms. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just conscious of time. We have a lot of questions posted on the chat, so I'm going to try to answer a couple of questions here while we have a couple of minutes. So what we are going to do is open up our final last two polls for the sessions. If you can please review them and answer them, we'll greatly appreciate that. The first question here is the support for iManage Work Server. We do support iManage Work Server. So in fact, we are the only AI solution that is in the market that supports iManage Work Server. The Work Server version has to be 10.4 plus. So that's a key limitation or pre-requirement. As long as your iManage is on 10.4.x or 10 above, our agent can be side-loaded using the iManage Control Center. It can be side-loaded to your platform, and basically then obviously there's some setup involved for our MCP server to learn that content as well. But we are working with a number of customers who are iManage Work Server on-prem. So it's not just for iManage Cloud; it's also for iManage Work Server as well. There's a question being posted here on templating. What we'll do is I'm conscious of time here. We are right on time. So we'll take some of these questions and we'll attempt to answer them as part of a post follow-ups kind of email that we send out. I greatly appreciate your time here for attending this webinar. Hopefully this was useful and you got some kind of good knowledge of how an agent can be surfaced in iManage. Please do stay in touch with us. I'm going to leave my contact details here on the screen. So if you want to scan the QR code to set up a meeting with me, or please do connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate your time.